Yeah, I mean, I thought our guys played really well start to finish for a game one, really steady, really proud of how our defense played, especially in that first quarter. I think they got the ball on the one. We held them to a field goal attempt and blocked it, I believe that was that drive, and then we turned it over on the 30 and hold them to a field goal. And so they had some really good stops, and then really the way they came out in the second half and just kind of shut the game down. I thought really proud of how our defense played. Got a big run by Jaylene in the special teams when we needed it, and then I think offensively pretty steady. We ran it effectively. I feel like we ran it better maybe than the stats would say, and it allowed us to have some big plays in the passing game. And it just felt like every time they would make a run, whether it would be Junior's bubble screen or Curly's touchdown, like we had an answer. And so I think that allowed us to play pretty well start to finish.
First games are usually kind of reserved a little bit of rust removal, kind of getting back in the swing of things. And after that first drive, you guys kind of, especially offensively, were kind of streamlined. I guess, did you expect kind of that fluidity, that smoothness in today's game? Or
honestly, no, I didn't. I think probably, I may be wrong here, but off the top of my head, I don't think we had a procedure penalty on offense, like a false start or any misalignment, and I don't think we jumped off sides on D, and that's unusual in a game one. You're going to have some holds and pass interference and stuff like that, but I was really proud of that, and I think that allowed us to not sputter as much. And so, no, I mean, we were able to convert some third downs that were big, that kept drives going, that helped. But, no, typically you expect the first half to have some jitters like that first drive, and, playing here where they got a lot of momentum. So I was really proud of how our guys responded.
Tanner Mordecai gets hit, in the ribs, bounces back a couple plays later. Aside from that first drive, what were your thoughts on how he played today?
I thought he played great. I thought he played steady. Made some big throws. I think, I could tell he was comfortable and prepared. But after that first drive or two, we scored that first touchdown. You could tell he just settled in. Made a big time throw to Curly on the touchdown. We had a little bit of leakage on the right side with our tight end and tackle. I'm not sure what happened, and he just stuck his foot in the ground. Probably threw it a little earlier than he wanted to, but gave him a chance. Made a lot of really good decisions because. You don't know we're going fast. He can hand it, he can throw it. He's got a lot of options on every play, and I thought he made great decisions. Made a really good touchdown throw to Rashid there late. Just thought he played steady all around and protected the football.
Obviously, he threw for over 4 touchdowns. From your standpoint,
is that what it was? I haven't seen his stat sheet.
430 or something like that, and 4 touchdowns.
Career high.
Yeah.
Oh,
32.
okay.
From your standpoint, is there any value in the fact that he got his touchdowns to 4 different players?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care who gets them, but it was good. Moochie scored one, Rashid scored one, Curly scored one, and Junior scored one. So, yeah, that's good. I mean, look, we don't want to force the ball to one guy or the other. I think we all saw Rashid make some big-time plays, but, if the offense is rolling, they were doubling him a lot, especially when he was one-on-one to the field, and we had to do some things to free him up in the second half. But the ball went other places, and guys made plays, and that's what, if we want to be a really good football team, we're going to have to do.
Talked about running the ball, got a lot of different guys the ball. Is that kind of going to be the game plan, is just keep them fresh and keep them going, or is that kind of a game one to see what everybody could do?
We knew Trey would start, and he was going to get the bulk of the carries. We felt really good about Tyler and TJ, and I thought they played well from everything I could tell. Velton Gardner was going to play, had a weird contact thing in warm-ups, so that's just kind of random. That's why he didn't see him. I think he's fine. And then we had a 2 or 3 play package for Kamar. Kind of didn't tell you guys about that, but ended up getting more carries than we anticipated, and it looked okay.
Coach, did you have a chance to kind of have a moment to yourself? I've arrived or anything like that, or was that the Gatorade bath?
Gatorade bath was cold. Gatorade bath was cold. There were little moments. Look, it was feel blessed that we won. Guys played well, but it's not about me. It's about the team, and really happy we won. That's really all that matters.
Did your players have anything to say to you in the locker room after your first win?
They gave me the Gatorade bath, and it was so cold. They were yelling a bunch of things at me. I couldn't tell what they were saying. And then, Rick gave me a game ball in there, and the players were great. I mean, we got good kids, man, and we understand how hard it is to win. Seth's got a good football team, and we played pretty well, I think, for game one. But it's going to be hard to win every week. We don't take it for granted when you get a win, and it was just fun to celebrate that with them.
You're set to play Lamar next week, first home game. What's going to be the focus this week in practice getting prepared for that?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be plenty of things, as coaches do, once we look at the film. I know offensively there's plenty of little things that we can clean up for sure, that either stall drives or guys in some of those third and long situations. I know defensively Coach Simons was probably not as pleased with how well we got lined up at times with the tempo. So there's plenty of things to get better. You typically make big improvements from game one to game two. We need to do that. One, because we need to win, and two, our schedule is going to get really hard here pretty quick. It'll be good to be home in front of our fans.
turnovers, had a couple offense special teams, but the ones you guys forced, just how big is that to see the defense get those takeaways?
It was huge. I mean, it was huge, and it felt like I said, every time we kind of sputtered, either the defense made a stop, got a turnover, the offense had a one play. Like we played good complementary football and really made the plays when we needed to. Sometimes the timing's what's important. You know, obviously we fumbled on offense, we fumbled the punt. Jordan's usually really sure-handed. He just tried to catch it the wrong way, and those are things that we can't do, you know, in really tight games. We're fortunate it didn't hurt us today.
Over 50 newcomers on this team. We talked about that. A lot of transfers too, and a lot of transfers made plays. Nick Roberts, Chris Adamora, even Bushevsky had multiple punts inside the 10. I guess we already kind of touched this a little bit, but it seems like it was pretty seamless for all these guys to kind of just get going together.
I think you got to give our players a ton of credit. When you got that many new guys coming together, it takes a lot of guys having no egos, being humble, just working, and finding a way. They want to win. They want to win more than they want to get stats. And that's rare today. And I think you got to give our staff credit because those are the guys that are in all those meeting rooms, offense and defense, trying to mesh all those personalities in 30 days. You know, Grizz did a great job with his team in June and July. He had them, and then our coaches in August. And that's big because adversity's coming. It's going to get tough, and we got to be able to lean on each other when that happens.
North Texas makes its money by running the ball. What do you think of your rush defense tonight?
You know, I don't know what the stats were, but I thought, like I said, other than the touchdown run that I think we missed 2 or 3 tackles on that one, and maybe just 1 or 2 other ones, I thought did a really good job of stopping the run. We felt like if we could get ahead and stop the run and force them to try to beat us throwing, that wasn't what they wanted to do. And, you know, like I said, I think our defense did a good job of putting them behind the chains. We got a lead. They didn't panic. They just kept stopping the run and tried to make them beat us throwing the football. I thought our secondary held up well.
A lot of emotion that goes into the first game of the season. Probably going to be some of that going into the first home game of the season. Yeah. How do you feel like you guys managed that coming into this one and now going into the next one?
I mean, obviously pretty well. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of emotion. I mean, I don't like game ones, whether it's your first one or not. Just, again, it's usually pretty crazy. And so, well, we've talked a lot about passion versus emotion. We want to play with a ton of passion, but there's a whole lot difference between passion and emotion. When you get emotional, that's when, you know, you do things out of character. So, you know, I thought overall we did a good job of that. It's going to be just as important next week.